Hey everyone, Dino here again. Okay, so like I mentioned in the intro video, we're going to be breaking out each new Portaflex model into its own respective video or videos. So in this particular video, we're checking out the all-new awesome PF-50T. Now this guy is 50 watts of all-tube pure Ampeg tone and power. Looking at it, you can tell it's 100% Ampeg right off the bat. It's built like a tank. Steel chassis, steel tube cage, black powder coated transformers, everything on this amp screams Ampeg. Now looking at the front panel, it is extremely straightforward, and if you're familiar with any one of our Ampeg amps, from the SVT-CL all the way to the BA combos and of course Portaflex in between, you'll be right at home with this amp. Let's take a look at the features real quick. 0 dB input, minus 15 dB input, classic Ampeg preamp tone stack, starting with the gain control, our famed ultra high and ultra low, bass control, mid-range control, 5-position mid-range selector switch, treble control, and then of course a master volume. So up till now, I've had the amp completely flat, no EQ, basically a standard P bass, volume tone control with P pickups. Now I can dial in a nice slap sound or a clean sound, bring in some bass, engage the ultra low and ultra high, scoop some mids at about 800 hertz, and I'll leave the treble where it is. So now I can get a nice okay, bring it back to neutral, set everything flat, ultra low, ultra high out, I'm back to flat. I can also dial in like a nice thumpy Motown sound, bring the bass up, get rid of the treble, maybe a little bit of mids, leave the ultra high and ultra low out. So you get the idea. Bring it back, everything's set flat again. Again, this thing is 100% tone machine. Like I said, all tube power section, all tube preamp. Now, you'll notice I have it playing through a PF-115HE, and we'll explain how this attaches to the PF-115HE in a few seconds here as well. Another cool feature about the amp that I want to point out is when the amp is powered up and off standby, basically in play mode, the power light glows traditional Ampeg purple. If I put it in standby, it will switch to a red LED. When it's red, you know your bass player's faking it. When it's purple, you know your bass player's playing live. So some other features we're going to check out here in a second, so stick around. So I went ahead and removed the grill that protects the preamp and power amp tubes so you can get a closer look at the silk screening and what's going on in there as well. So you've got a complement of 6L6 power tubes and 12AU7 and 12AX7 for preamp and drive tubes. So let's take a quick look at the backside of the PF-50T. Now in general, the backside of most amplifiers really isn't that exciting. But in the case of this guy, there are some features on the 50T and the 20T that are really worth pointing out. So obviously you have power and standby, which is pretty common on most all-tube amplifiers. Now I left the amp plugged in and powered up for a couple of very specific reasons. Number one, to show you the user biasing feature that we have here. This is helpful whenever you want to change out the power tubes or the amp needs servicing and you need to rebias it. Same feature that's found on our SVT-CL and SVT-VR. You'll also notice that the amp is powered up and off standby, but it is not connected to a speaker load. As long as the amp is switched to its 8 ohm setting, you don't have to have it hooked up to a speaker load or to any load for that matter to run the amp. Very uncommon in most tube amps, whereas you do have to have a speaker load connected, otherwise you blow the output transformer. In the case of the PF-50T and the 20T, you do not have to have it connected to a speaker load. This comes in really useful when you're recording in a small project studio or in places where you just can't be loud or have it connected to a speaker cabinet. Now, along with that, you'll also notice, and this is something that's not featured on any amplifier to my knowledge that I know of, especially a tube amplifier. You've got two independent XLR line outs on the back of the amp. You've got a preamp out, which takes a signal directly from the preamp, sends it to a recording console or front of house console, depending on your situation. You also have a transformer balance line out, which takes the signal from the output transformer and sends that to a recording console or front of house console. Basically the same signal that you would be sending to a speaker cabinet. So you have two different options of sending that warm Ampeg sound to either console, depending on your situation. Again, not found on any amplifier to the best of my knowledge, especially any all-tube amplifiers. So you can run the head without a speaker load, connected to a mixing console. Great for any kind of recording situation or project studio situation where you want that all-tube sound going direct into a recording console or direct to tape or however you want to record it. Again, like I said, something that you don't normally see on many amplifiers, if any, for that matter. One last feature I want to point out about the PF-50T is because it's part of the Portaflex series, it can retrofit to your existing Portaflex flip-top cabinet, such as a PF-115HE or a PF-210HE. Throughout this entire video, the PF-50T has been mounted to the lid of a 115HE. So check this out. Just like the PF-250, the PF-500, or the PF-800, the PF-50T bolts to the bottom or the top, however you look at it, of the lid of either the 115HE or the 210HE. So you get that portable Portaflex feature in the flip top with an all-tube head. And now I'm ready for transport with my PF-50T upside down in the cabinet. How cool is that? Well, there you go, folks. The all-new, awesome new PF-50T. 50 watts of pure all-tube Ampeg tone, power, and vibe in a small and relatively lightweight design. With its two XLR outs and the fact that you don't have to have a speaker load connected to it to record with it, it is the perfect solution for recording studios. It's also the perfect solution for bass players that love their current Portaflex rigs but want to step up to an all-tube head and still retain that convenient flip-top design. Perfect for that as well. So be sure to check out all the new Portaflex videos here at Ampeg TV. My name's Dino Monoxelos, and like I always say, play more bass.